Prepare for battle.
Like watching your kids grow up, we were covering both these regions, and now they get to show us everything in an elimination series.
One kid left, my friend. Natsumi could not make it. He went to another school. He left all his friends behind. Feels bad, man. Now they have a stand-in, and they still got to top 8. They're doing wonderfully here for themselves. I'm pretty excited to see what they have to show against VG, who of course are the favorites, but Neon, they are looking pretty damn good themselves.
Yeah, they look good during the DPC season, and now, of course, going through the hardships of stand-in city, they have to really pick it up here. And it's going to be a tough one, but they've shown some promise, so I'm really excited. Like, I want to see what they bring to the table on this one. But you're up against some comfort picks of Vici.
So this whole mess is all
the Shaman, the Puck, the Jug. Like, that just feels like Vici's got everything that they're comfortable with.
And what can we say? Everyone gangster until Naya, Taya, Nada. There's nothing you can do. PYW on that hero? I don't know if he's lost the game yet. Playoffs with him. I don't believe he did.
And then during the season, it felt like he was never losing with this hero because Shadow Shaman was very popular in the Chinese region, and that hero was cleaning up. It was quite disgusting.
Yeah, he's super popular in the Chinese region, especially in SEA, not so much. And we really just see a lot of Chinese teams pick it up. Even in the playoffs here, a lot of other regions don't really care too much about it. But whenever they pick it or another Chinese team picks it, they're doing pretty well with it.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of priority in the Shadow Shaman in the Chinese region. One guy that I know loved this hero, he's not in the DPC right now, is James. He used to play for CDC, and that was like one of those guys who put on clinics every time he played Shadow Shaman. And it just really kind of extended from there. Like, I was watching him play it, and then now you've got guys on every single team in the Chinese region just picking up this hero, and really the 4 is using Shadow Shaman basically to its full potential every single time.
Yeah, it's definitely a very strong hero, but Neon has good tools to deal with it. They have the Void Spirit to get on top of them, the Pangolier as well. Even the Stone Gaze is not very easy to handle for the Shadow Shaman because you can't really shackle anyone. DY here in a little bit of trouble. One Spirit Earth could spill his death here.
Radiant's top tower
DY getting stunned up and now trying to TP after the stuns. Just skirting out of there. Posting up. Good 8th the Remnant. Wow, there for Yopaj. Solo kill onto Ori. That's a big one to get in a matchup that, to me, feels 50-50, but how does it feel to you?
It's definitely a little bit Void Spirit favored in the lane, but you should never be able to kill a Puck solo, especially when you're like on relatively high health yourself still. It wasn't like it was a close scenario or anything. So Jopaj showing here again why he's he's a very interesting player. Sometimes he just goes super ham, other times he's a little bit cold, but this game he's off to a great start.
Yeah, Yopaj really interested me back a little while ago when I got to catch him play Earth Spirit mid, and he really destroyed. Ever since then, I've just been keeping an eye on him, and he impressed me in the league. He's impressed me here. It's really just been exciting to watch him throughout the event and the season.
He has his own like little play style as well as hero pool, and you know, sometimes it works out really well, as we said. Other times struggling quite a bit. We'll have to see what he can make happen here once he reaches the 6. I've got high hopes for him as well, especially with that first blood coming in.
That first blood could prove to be massive, especially in that matchup, and what comes afterwards. Get that 6 quickly, rotate, maybe top, maybe bottom, find your shots, and really start to potentially snowball with this hero.
The side lane should also be going pretty well for Neon here. Medusa against Bristleback is pretty simple for Dusa. You're gonna have this magic wand and mana shield, you can't really ever die. And then Leshrac is pressuring Juggernaut quite a bit here.
How do you feel about this Lesh pick? It's not a hero that's been all too popular, but showing its face in this matchup in an off-lane situation. Is it something that you're excited to see what could come, or do you feel like this is a good matchup for it, that you know what's coming?
I personally love Leshrac. I always did. Like, the Diabolic Edict just gives you too much pushing potential. Like, they don't really have any way to pressure towers, but this Leshrac alone makes it so they will have a very easy time taking T1 and even T2 towers in the mid game.
Definitely seems like this could, beat 4 heroes that put some pressure on your towers, put some pressure on the map, open it up for Medusa. So it'd be interesting to see how this goes for Vici and how they work with that as they lose ult 11. And that is a kill for the Medusa that we were talking about. Needs some time to get some farm, but already getting kills here on Bristle. And it's uncharacteristic of ult 11 to really be dropping in his lane. He's proven to be pretty consistent inside his lane.
Structures are fortified.
Yeah, but of course, playing a melee hero against Medusa is always a little bit tricky. Sometimes if you take that last bounce of the Mystic Snake, suddenly it's like 300 burst damage in your face. Something you don't necessarily expect, because Medusa hasn't picked that much anymore. So I don't think they're like super comfortable playing against it or laning against it. A bit careful here. Old 11 might be in trouble again.
Already taking a lot of damage. Hex comes out onto the Medusa. They're chasing old 11 who gets hit by that Mystic Snake once again. But they're chasing. They're trying to catch up to this Bristle and get a kill. And it looks like Juggernaut might make that a possibility. Just getting away here, as it's just a lot of harassment onto old 11. I don't think he feels too comfortable at the moment.
Bristleback though, it's always easily possible to catch back up in neutral camps, maybe even ancient stacks. Like full sprays are just perfect. A perfect catch-up tool. So he isn't gonna be too worried about the laning phase, even though he's still doing very well for himself. Still sitting ahead of the Medusa.
I'll take that.
Yes. So it's not all bad for him.
We'll have to see how he does going forward. He's got that bottle. That was a popular thing in the Chinese region during the TPC League, was picking up that off-lane bottle. Yeah, there's the Aether Remnant, but the Dream Coil comes out onto the Void Spirit. Yopaj might have bitten off more than he can chew, as they've got 3 heroes here for Vici. There's the Shackles, there's the kill for Ori. And yeah, he bit off too much, and he's gonna fall over mid. Gives it back what he got earlier.
Huge rotation here. Under the Ink Swirl as well as the Shadow Shaman Shackle. There's just too much disable coming out. They do take it down. Punishes over aggression. Very well done here by Vici, because the Puck is really the guy that will make all the plays happen for your team. So you need to make sure you enable him. They're doing a very good job at doing so.
That's the aggression that we expect from Yopaj, but when you've got instant rotations coming out from PYW as well as DY, it's tough. 3v1, that's not a matchup you want to be in, no matter who you are. And now Yopaj, he gives it right back to Ori. This is definitely one of Ori's better heroes. And again, he's jumping forward, looking to make some aggressive moves here onto Ori. Is it a bit too early for this? Because he can get caught out again. I know they don't have Dream Coil at the moment, but time that wrong one more time, or Shadow Shaman's there, and you might just die back to that.
You have to be really careful here. As soon as that coil is off cooldown again, hardest counter to Void Spirit in the game, pretty much. Die very easily there, instead. So I'll be looking for some rotations from him instead. Maybe to the top lane, maybe to the bot lane. Lots of good targets for him all around.
See PYW staying over here.
3 middle. Coil up.
They're going to break 3 middle once again. Ink Swell coming through. They've got the silence, and they should be able to lock down Yopaj. Another silence onto this Void Spirit, getting away with a little bit of health. No, they've got the Shackle, and they'll get the kill again. Yopaj getting taken out, and Vici, you can just see the communication coming in. We're going mid. We've got Dream Coil right as it comes up. Boom. TP's in. Let's go.
They're doing 2 things with that also. They're denying the Space Maker, or rather the pace setter of Neon, having a good game, and they're enabling their own. So they're basically just... It's just a perfect play for them. Like, there's nothing better they can possibly do. Every time that coil is off cooldown, he has to be so careful with his Void Spirit.
A lot of damage on a play hard. He's just trying to contest there on that rune. But the rune ends up top. Yopaj picks it up. Refills that bottom.
He's on his way top now. He's had enough of getting coiled and getting killed. So he wants to put the pain onto the Grimstock, which is going to be seeing here.
Yeah, DY getting caught out, and they've got the Aether Remnant Swashbuckle in, and another kill there for Yopaj. Resonant Pulse is what does it, and DY just getting caught out a little bit. Rotation comes from picking up that rune. Maybe to be expected, but if you're losing your 5 in a rotation like that, I think you're not too upset about it.
Did we see this Edict here killing the tower at minute 8? Like, it's so uncommon to see that the safe lane tower die so fast to a single offline hero, but we spoke about the potential of the Leshrac.
Yeah.
With that high level Edict. Towers just melt. Like, one Edict literally just takes the power from 100% to 0. Takes the 100% of the damage.
Radiant's bottom tower.
So that really puts
attack.
Vici now in a little bit of a bad spot, because you've got Medusa who's comfortable just farming around. You've got Jug who's lost his tower, his lane, and he's got to figure something else out. There's a plan B that's got to be made for Vici, and where does that stem? Do these 4 heroes have to make just a bunch of space
Radiant's
now for Poyoyo?
Is under attack.
It will all come down to the rotations of Ori here. He will have to be the one making plays happen, and he is also rotating bottom just to be able to get the tower down as well, open up the map a little bit for their Juggernaut. Making sure that they pressure the enemy. They don't give him complete free farm here.
Yeah, they're going to take the tier 1 themselves.
Radiant structures
fortified by the Radiant, but once that goes down, that's gone, and Death just trying to put on as much pressure as he can over top. This is just the power of the Leshrac, and they really need to find a way to stop this.
Taking his level 6. Now the pushing power increased tremendously as well for the BG side. Whenever you drop those Shaman Wards down to the tower, damage coming out from there.
See if they can move around with those certain wards. They do have a lot to work with right now. They've got the Dream Coil available, Omni Slash if Jug does choose to get involved, which I'm sure Poyoyo looked to get involved too early on. He's just trying to figure out his farm, as he's not even with the Medusa, but not terribly far back. You just got to make sure that you just don't drop too far behind. And honestly, I'd like to see VG try and stop this Medusa from just having all this open space, but Neon are doing a perfect job of making sure that Medusa does have this space.
You can just see the movement of the other 4 heroes. They are perfectly protected in a triangle, the opposite side of where Medusa really wants to farm. So Medusa doesn't really feel scared at all, but he's a little bit isolated there, so he has to be careful when all of his teammates are on mid lane. He could get caught out quite easily there. A lot of stacks coming out from VG here. Just smoking up to the Medusa right away. Careful, 1 coil could kill him. There's still T1 tower for some quick responses, but okay, just retreating back to his triangle, staying safe.
Yeah, very aware of just the sense of where Vici are. That's perfectly played, and yeah, Poyoyo is going to take these stacks, going for that Battle Fury first. We've seen it time and time again with him on this Jug, certainly throughout the season and throughout this event. You know, we've seen Poyoyo and his strengths with this Juggernaut.
So the thing is, people might think, you know, Medusa, wow, it's the hardest carry in this game. But no, once Juggernaut reaches 5 or 6 items, Medusa will die in a single Omni Slash. Juggernaut is an anti-core hero, and he just deals way too much damage to handle, even for a hero like Medusa.
If you find yourself potentially silenced, unable to get that ult off, you can get shackled from some distance away. They go for an ult 11, and they get the kill to the Bristleback. They're starting to chase. They've got a 2-man Dream Coil coming in, as well as the silence on both the Leshrac, as well as the Ogre Magi. They've got the shackle coming out from PYW. They get the kill on a Shiny Will, but they end up losing ult 11. This is not looking too great for Vici, though they'll lose a second. PYW ends up going down to play hard. Ori doesn't jump back on that illusory orb. However, that is not the fight Vici we're looking for.
Getting 1 support, trading it for core and the support. Not the best for VG, unfortunately, and there was a fight without Medusa. But also Juggernaut didn't join it either, so at least he is getting closer and closer to their Battle Fury, which will then enable him to farm on par with the Medusa.
You're really hoping that he can find this at a decent mark, and so far I think it's a good timing where he's estimated to pick up the finishing touches to this Battle Fury.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, the problem is just,
are fortified.
will he get the space? Because right now, VG Gaming, they're lacking quite a bit of damage, I'd say. Like, Leshrac has a hood, Pangolier is a pretty tanky hero once he's in his role. Ogre is tanky, so is Void Spirit. It's gonna be very tough for the heroes of VG to really kill anybody in the team fight until they get some damage items up on the Puck, on the Bristol, as well as the Juggernaut.
We'll have to see what Rory's going to do with this. Ooh, Rolling Thunder coming in, and that's a hit onto DUI, looking like he's dead to rights and will fall to play hard. Pango is just a thorn in the side of Vici, and it's only 13 minutes in. You can see just the disruptions it's caused. It's such a struggle to play up against this Pango, especially once he gets that Blink Dagger, and he's not too far off of it.
Juggernaut!
Let's see how this goes. So we take a look, and Medusa's still just trying to farm up as much as possible. Has that Sanjin going into the Scotty. We've seen nothing really stopping this Medusa at the moment. 1-0-1. It really is just the space made here for Neon. And Vici really need to find some sort of answer to slowing down this Medusa, and of course they're waiting on this Jug at the moment. Double damage pop. They're going to go after Erica, who will go immediately into the Blade Fury TP out. And there he is, getting away. Formerly known as Erica.
They have no way of... Like a bash us out on the Pangolier, potentially on the Void Spirit, but it's not. Like, item. He's gonna be having a pretty free game. Maybe better. Oh, you now.
I'll take that as tribute.
Poyoyo has that Battle Fury now. Should be able to catch up to the Medusa, right?
Treasures.
It's hard. Like, Medusa has this inbuilt split shot. It's always going to be flash farming. See it here, he's using it very well. It's going to be tough to catch Medusa. I would just love for VG to try and somewhat contest the Medusa farm at least, because once it's not, gets up coil.
Yeah, Dreamcore coming through on a play hard. They're going to look over and try and take out this Pangolier. They get the kill on a play hard easily. Nobody coming over to try and help out on the side of Neon.
Dire's middle tower is under
As I
attack.
said, like, once the Skadi comes out from the Medusa, this Juggernaut will not feel very comfortable ever joining a team fight. It's going to be slowed up. They won't have the damage to kill her. Also, just to feel less tanky because this region will of course be reduced. Medusa right now is not very strong.
Hey, Prime.
How much are we looking for in there for this Medusa?
How much in terms of
Like time, I would say probably the most is Death is getting
Right.
chased here by Old 11. He's got the Ink Swell, should be able to stun him up. They've got the Silence as well from the Phantom.
damage from the Bristol.
This is a lot of damage from the Bristol, but it's taking a long time to even kill this Leshrac. Finally get a kill onto Death, but they've got the stun onto the Puck. They'll look over to at least trade Old 11. Need a couple more shots. He's quite tanky. Moves up into the air, and Old 11 does finally fall to Yopaj. However, while that's happening, bottom, they're trying to take a tier 2 tower.
Coming in, but they're responding swiftly. W in trouble here.
Yeah, gets caught by that Aether Remnant, gets the Hex out onto Yopaj. They're still trying to take the tower.
Go.
Focusing on the tower,
Radiant's
and
bottom
will
tower
take it.
has fallen.
I mean, he knows they have no way to cancel the spin TP. Very well played by VG here. They traded top lane, off lane for off lane, and they got a tier 2 tower very early into the game. And to answer your question, how much time Medusa needs, really just that Skadi plus 1 damage item. You get a Skadi plus a butterfly, you take this Roshan, there's a potential for just finishing the game right there. You can go high with those items. Potentially, the Juggernaut won't be able to fight back Medusa at that time.
Yes, we'll have to see if they can get to that timing, right? Because this game is still dead even in terms of net worth.
Dead even, indeed. I mean, VG is not doing a bad job, even though Medusa is free farming. And the other core here is quite low on network. Help himself, as we've seen.
$18 minutes into the game, you hit that 10K
Dire's
mark
top
on the
tower is under
Medusa.
attack.
They'll just try and open up space here is Neon, as they have been trying to push this tier 2 top a couple times. They haven't gotten it still, and I think I'm a little bit surprised, maybe because they've got the Leshrac. I was expecting a little bit more pushing from them. But we haven't quite seen it. They've been pushed away a couple times.
Because BG is doing a really good job at split pushing. You can see it, they're pressuring top, but they're already hitting mid tower. Potentially team fight.
Top tower is falling.
Leshrac.
Very careful. Got the G4 coming in on the 2. They've got the Leshrac as well. The Woodfare goes up in the air. And they'll use that X. So they have the control to get this kill. Here comes the Medusa. And there's the old 2. Turning it around on the PY. Don't even get the kill on the Shadow Shaman. Immediately into the Blade Fury's poyoyo to get away. And it was set up to be something nice for BG. Can they get back in here and maybe turn this around? They get the kill on a death. They'll take the Leshrac. Phase shift into the Aether Rim. They just set it up so easy as they'll take out Ori, and it ends up being a 2-for-1. Neon coming out on top and doesn't have the full Scotty, but it's a perfect spot for Medusa to get involved. Push back BG as well as get 2 kills.
Teamfight started off with a perfect coil and 2 very valuable cores, but they just don't have the damage on BG, as I said previously. They're still lacking quite a bit of items. There's coil here again. This is exactly what you're looking for with the coil, but the damage is just not there. They're focusing the Leshrac rather than the Void Spirit, so he survives barely. Medusa comes in to save the day. Ori though, he makes a very good play. He kills the Leshrac, he just kind of doesn't draw into his orb. Not sure why, but sometimes there's a little bit too many buttons to press.
Especially with that pocket Blade Fury right on top of the Ogre. With the Ink Swell, you've got the Ram's Embrace, so there's the silence and they get the kill.
I'm chopping him like the onions that I had for breakfast. Very finely diced.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Did you roll the dice?
My path leads to
Roll the dice, unfortunately.
You gotta
Whenever
dice
I roll the
onions
dice, I
and
get
then
the lowest possible.
Hey guys, every time.
You know, I was rolling for my mid lane, right? The guy rolled a 5, and I actually managed to roll a 1. How's it possible?
Luck of the draw, I guess.
I guess.
Did you do
Well, you know
slash
what they
roll
say.
just 1?
Unlucky in gambling, lucky with the women. Setting up for a Roche here. Will they be able to get it in time? I mean, BG should definitely be able to lift that out. Potentially contested.
This isn't exactly the fastest Roche. Old 11 starting to step forward, but I don't know if that's the spot he wants to be in. They're already starting to chase the Crystal. He's got his back to the rest of the Radiant team, and really not taking much damage overall. They've got the shackle onto the Medusa for a second. We use that Stone Gaze, turn around on a PYW, get the kill there out of the Shadow Shaman, and turn the Crystal back to Stone. That's a big problem here for Old 11. The Old 11 comes in, they get themselves the Dream Club, and down with the overhead, and it looks slow by. They've got themselves the opportunity to get this one to play hard as well as Genuel. Now they're going to turn this around. They've only got 3 heroes available on the side of Neon, and then comes the Opage. Down goes the Void Spirit. It's a triple kill here for Poyoyo, and Old 11 is still not dead. I mean, these guys showing him their back, showing their front. What's coming?
Super well played here by BG. Showing exactly why Pocket Shadow Shaman are such impactful heroes. The ward trap on the Medusa was very well placed as well. Just outplaying Neon here a little bit. Now getting the Roshan. They were down 4k gold, now they're up 2k. Well played by them. And they're not on the timer at all, as I said. Like, the Bristleback will scale very well into the late game. So will the Juggernaut. And it's really on Neon here to try to bring it back into their favor. Rather, like, sooner rather than later.
Commit so much onto the Bristleback, and then at the end of the day, they don't even kill him, and they don't really have much to show for it. This Medusa, Sanjinasha Scotty still doesn't feel like enough.
It's tough. Like, they don't have great lockdown for this puck, for this Juggernaut. You know, like, they have a hard time cutting into the backlines, killing these heroes. Like, Juggernaut are pretty much invincible in this game if they play their cards right. And the teamfight has shown that perfectly. They're having a hard time knocking down anyone and killing anyone. I think Shaman the only casualty in the Dire side.
And he shackled, and then he realized they all looked his way, and he was pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to kill Shadow Shaman. Nobody likes to be shackled. That spell is personification of obnoxious. There's nothing more annoying than Dota, I think. Like, the way it sounds, they just stand and do nothing. So annoying.
God, especially when you've got the cast range and you've picked up a Psychic Headband. Of course, every time there's a Shadow Shaman, Psychic Headband gets dropped. Knock on wood, I don't jinx it this time. But it feels like he can always get it from just a map's length away.
He's definitely put some training into his arms, you know? Wing them real hard, real far. Shadow Shaman is a master of that. The only one that can outclass him is
Radiant's
really
middle
Rubik.
tower is under attack.
The extra length on the
Radiant structures are
the
fortified.
shackles, or does he outclass him in different ways and just stealing all his spells and throwing it back?
Now we're just talking about the arm training. Range of
Radiant's
shackles.
middle tower has fallen.
Because it's pretty much a full screen once you have Rubik with shackles.
Disarm day.
Leg day, however, go there.
Old 11 just trying to get that Solar Crest. They've got MKB being built here for the Medusa, so a lot of items getting close here around the map. Medusa, is the MKB the answer?
It's an item. Not the biggest fan of it, but no, it gives you damage, at least. I would have much rather liked to see a butterfly. More sense against these physical damage heroes. But the real problem Neon has here is that the other core heroes are not really having a great game other than the Medusa. Medusa is not a hero that can carry this sort of game alone. Shadow Shaman, really good against you. So is Juggernaut, so is Puck. It's gonna be a tough game for Medusa to carry. We'll definitely need some
Radiant's
backline
top
support here.
tower is under attack.
Listed. It's never a good sign. When, yeah, Medusa's at the top, that's a good look. But the three cores come afterwards, and the margins between their counterparts is starting to extend pretty hard.
They had a very strong win game. So, Neon in the past 4 or 5 minutes, really. Alban VG, they're dominating the map right now. So that network needs to just steadily be growing.
Only 2K right now, but look at also just the support farm. Like, DY's found himself a lot of farm. He is one component away from finishing off that Ags. Like, that's scary
Radiant's
prospect.
bottom tower
Yeah,
is
like
under
if
attack.
Medusa gets Dark Portrait hit, let's just create some English words here. There's gonna be a lot of damage potential. If you're coiled and the Dark Portrait Medusa hits you, you are gone. There's way too much damage. Big smoke up here, made the triangle. Neon though, farmed it already, so they will not be caught here.
Would it be Dark Portraited, or would it be drawn into the Dark Portrait? I have no idea.
Radiant's top tower is under
How
attack.
does it even happen? Like, he draws a Dark Portrait of that hero, right? So, I think
Radiant structures
getting Dark
are
Portrait hit
fortified.
sounds more
Radiant's
suitable,
top
maybe?
tower is
More
under attack.
correct-ish? Possibly.
Radiant's
Who
turret
knows? I'm not
has been
American. I don't speak English.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
I feel like there should be a channeled spell. Because when I walk around the city and I see all these guys making drawings, like, this just happened, but all he does is press a button and all of a sudden, Dark Portrait's been drawn.
He is the next, who is this really famous Van Gogh?
Such plans.
I don't know if
That
he
him?
drew. I don't want to anger artists.
I don't want to anger anyone either, but there's a really famous guy who did the Mona Lisa. Grimstroke is definitely that tier of art.
Top tier, S tier.
Top
work
tier
should
S
be put
tier.
in museums.
Double S. Possibly even triple S.
The game kind of quieting down a little bit. It's only 10 to 10.
Dire's structures
the game's
are
felt very
fortified.
tense. We're
Dire's
27 minutes in,
bottom
and it's
tower is
only
under
10-10.
attack.
There's been some fights 5-on-5 that only end with 1 or 2 casualties.
Yeah, a lot of split pushes coming in here because whoever gets the initiation can just take it very easily.
Dire's
And both
bottom
teams are aware of
tower
that,
has
so they
fallen.
don't want to give away anything for free here. Both have like, some of the best hard carries in the game. Medusa, Juggernaut, whoever takes it late game, they have a shot of winning. So no team is really on the clock here.
One after
Leshrac.
death, and trying to catch up with him.
Radiant's
Aether ram in,
top tower
avoiding
is
it.
under attack.
Still continuing to slow down this Leshrac. That's how far they want to change. They know that Neon's going to be waiting for that. The Lord of Sword.
All of them
Now,
is a Bristol.
the turnaround. A lot of damage coming through on the Bristol deck. They got this on the roll cutter coming in. But now Serpent Ward's placing a good
Healing
spot
Ward.
to lock up this Medusa. They've got the Healing Ward that's healing up Old 11 and are letting them turn this around. Omnislash coming in. It's going to be enough damage. And now Silver the Pharaoh. They're going to go here on the Penguin. They'll look over. Alloy
Leshrac will drop the Dream Coil, and it's locked on to death. And he will find his death, because he is dead and gone. And he will also die. That shackle, yeah, exactly what we were talking about, Black. They're going to lock down Yopaj, but can they lock him down long enough to get that kill?
Almost there.
Away, Abraham placed down. Looking, searching into the trees. They've got him. God, perfect from Vici, not losing anybody.
Neon keeps getting baited into focusing Bristleback. Perfect healing ward control here by poyoyo to keep the Bristleback alive. And once more, he was on like 5% health, but they just can't finish him. The teamfight turns around in a dramatic fashion. 4-0 trade for VG once more. And Medusa lives, sure. Said it before, Medusa can't win this game alone.
Yeah, they've itemized really well for this Medusa. They've played around this Medusa pretty well on Vici. And look at the damage come out quick onto this Bristle, but Dark Portrait was placed on the Medusa. They had the Serpent Words for control. Like, Vici did everything right.
I don't think, actually, I haven't seen the new Medusa Dark Portrait yet. I don't think you get the split shot unless he activated it. So like he can kind of play around with it, you know? Don't activate split shot until you get Dark Portraited, and then there should be no split shot, which will mitigate the damage by a ton.
That's the real cherry on top for the Dark Portrait is when you split shot it.
And you absolutely need. Otherwise, it's just 100% damage with that split shot. It's a total of 400% damage. So I'm not very good at math, but that number is definitely bigger.
Radiant's top tower is under
We all
attack.
know how good my math
Oh,
is.
he missed the
Oh, but not enough to get the kill there. That's a little bit of a surprise as they start to maybe get hold 11. However, they're going to lose Januel as Rolling Thunder comes through. QI is still alive for the moment, but the Anchor and lands the Rolling Thunder comes through on the QI. They need to better the Fury right on top of death. They will kill Leshrac. Damage on the hold 11, but every time I talk about him, it feels like he's not dying. As I say that, I jinx. Coil on the 3, and now Beach is back and forth. It's in and out. They're trying to find an answer here. Omni Slash ends up getting used. Poyoyo tries to get onto the Medusa. He's got the Medusa. Gets the kill onto the Beal. They'll take out Play Hard. Triple kill for Poyoyo. And they make it one more. Astro step away from Yopaj. He gets out of the fight for now and will escape with his life. Man, Vici, it looks like they're out of it. It looks like they're back in it. Then they're out of it again. And they're back in it. I mean, these fights are back and forth. It feels like Neon had a hold on it, but Dream Coil comes in from Ori, who died earlier in that fight, and turns it around again.
The buyback from Ori really was super important for VG. They get the big prize to Medusa, but they have to be really careful here. Ori, if he dies once more, that's a really big window for Neon. He's itemizing into an Aeon Disc now. Once that Aeon Disc is up on the puck, he should not be able to die. At least not
Radiant's
easily.
middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, even without that Yule's landing on him, he was still able to get killed off pretty quickly. And, you know, at the beginning of that fight, I thought Neon did a really good job. But it was Vici, I would say, doing a better job. I don't think Neon did a bad job, but Vici did a better job to turn that fight around.
Definitely. I mean, that buyback was definitely not expected from Neon because they were diving quite deep. That Aghanim's coil on 3, keeping it in place for 8 seconds is just far too long. Juggernaut's Omni Slash came off cooldown as well. Absolutely massacring the Medusa, which we said, you know, Medusa is very tanky, but you are not tanky enough to tank an Omni Slash all by yourself. There's just no way.
Especially now he's got that axe, he's using Swift Slash, which we saw multiple times throughout that fight. It's just really, you could see how strong not only the axe is for Jug, but the Shard too.
Yeah, it's one of the best combos, I think. You always want to get both on Juggernaut. You get the 100 additional movement speed on the spin, and you also apply the Skadi slow on everybody. Potentially even a bash once you get that basher. A big smoke up here. Ori ready with his Aeon Disc. Take the fight to them.
Having that sense of confidence now on Ori, and that's confidence without a buyback, which is rare. Usually it takes an ages to feel that confident, but you could see that Ori's going to position himself, look to make something happen because each can feel it. They're stepping on the throat. They're looking to finish off this game, and whether that comes before or after this Roche is really
nice pass and it's react. They're still kind of just chilling. Everyone's going in. Roche is already dead, they're not going in.
Oh, picked up by Poyoyo.
Killed.
Ilflash was trying to make a play here. They've got a head, and now they get long arms. The void turn. They've got the shadow. They're moving to get the kill here on Ilflash. They'll finish him off. Now Medusa comes out of the both Leshrac as well as the Ogre Magi. His Old 11's going to be on the higher ground once again. They've got the stone gate. Medusa have the damage to get the kill on the Over 11. Not looking likely, but as I say that, Slash in the air twice by Playhard, and finally they finish off Old 11. They fall back to Slash. Here's the Omni Slash. It's coming all the way through. They got that going to Daniel. They end up losing DY as well as Old 11 to a bit of the side of Peachy, and now down goes the field. Blade Fury right on top of Death, and Death, I've said it before, I'll say it again, he has found his Death. Triple kill, that's like the 5th time he's got a triple kill.
And again, same scenario. Bristleback is standing there. They keep hitting him for like 10 seconds. He just doesn't care. Ultimately, he dies, sure, but they take the team fight very convincingly here again on VG Gaming. Juggernaut is getting stronger and stronger, and Medusa keeps dying. You see this fantastic initiation by PYW on the Void Spirit. And look at the Bristleback. He's just sitting there, tanking.
He soaks up so much damage.
Look at the focus on him. You've got 4 heroes focusing him while the rest of the team can figure out where they want to go.
Tower is under attack.
And look at that Omni Slash. Really just cutting through Medusa like butter. Like so easy for him to just kill her.
It really just seems so easy for Poyoyo now. And I don't know if there's any more answers from Neon. As Poyoyo is just too far out of control.
Yeah, where's the damage going to come from? They still have no spell, no item against Spin. They just can't take him down. Poyoyo an absolute monster here. Now 26 already, sitting at 3.5k health. Just feeling what is going to heal him like 200 health per second.
Coming through on the Leshrac, Death in trouble. Starting to retreat on VG. Not sure how much they want to commit on the side of Neon though.
Low on mana on Puck, low on mana on Shaman, so the retreat is very well warranted. You don't want to go into a team fight even though you have Aegis Machines and low resource. There's no point to, you're not in any sort of rush. Your Juggernaut is absolute peace. He's gonna finish his Abyssal Blade soon.
But I
then
want
it's
so
lights out
much
for
more.
Neon, I think.
Invisibility!
Yeah, I think we've talked about this in the past, especially during the season, was like, if you're in a spot where you can get eliminated, you're gonna play a little bit extra safe. And I know this isn't an elimination game, but it's an elimination series, and you don't want to overstep where maybe, especially against the Medusa, you have second chances.
Because if you lose that first game, then you suddenly are in danger of elimination, and nobody wants that pressure on them.
Not at all.
Although some people thrive under pressure, you know? It's just not a very comfortable scenario to be in. Knowing that any single take could just eliminate you. Half a level, then he will have Dreamcoil. He's itemizing into a Daedalus, so he's going full right click here on Puck now. And another source of damage. Medusa, we will see. Won't feel very tanky at all.
It's not just the Jug that's doing a lot of damage. It is Ori, who's had quite a game, and that's coming off a backstep of giving up first blood.
Ori is... has been
Ogre caught. Shackle through Slash coming through. There's the kill, and now the War Cutters will complete. They're going to go forward on the PYW. The Demons will coming out of the den. They've got the Soulbind that's going to lock them up over on the Playhard. Speed's not going to be spinning anywhere. They've got the Circle Ward dropped down. It's over the Dream Code running down on 3 of these heroes. They're trying to get the kills on the side of Neon. They've already taken out PYW. BTB pop out.
No mana, Medusa.
Look at Old 11. He's just moving forward. They've got the kill to death. They'll take out the look over at Playhard. They fall back on the death. Some death. I'm not sure he's got enough here to really turn this around for Neon. We're going to chain past the tier 4, so getting the kill to Playhard. That's going to be 3 dead. They do have buyback available on this Pangolier, but it is not looking likely that Neon are going to get out of this one.
healing 130, no buyback.
Medusa on the Medusa in trouble. Lotustorm is going to be enough to save. It's not looking likely. He's already out of mana. He's already out of life, and he's not got much more. GG is right back. GG take game 1 over Neon. And that is just a kick in the door and a kick in the teeth there from Peachy and Neon in this first one.
It looked very...